a week since the Philadelphia 76ers have been eliminated from the postseason by the New York Knicks. If you are just tuning in to my channel, first of all, welcome on in. My name is Jason Joseph. This is Play-by-Play with JJ, and we have a lot to talk about, all right? We do Sixers, we do Phillies, and we do Eagles. But I got a lot to say about the Sixers. There's definitely a lot of things to unpack that I kind of wanted to bunch it all into a video, and that way you can see what I have to say. And hopefully everything makes sense. And I want to attack this from all angles. I'm still shocked that they ended up losing that series. I'm not going to lie. Now that the series has been done, I've had a little bit of time to reflect on things, and I keep thinking to myself, well, what really did go wrong? They played very good basketball for the most part, but they lost the series in Game 2 and in Game 1. Losing both those games were really critical. They really were. Obviously, they didn't finish the job. I thought that they may have had a 3-1 comeback in them. I still believe that they had the better stars. The better team may have won the series, but the Sixers have a lot in their future with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. I agree with that. It still stings, though, you know? It still stings. And I think that that's kind of where I am. Daryl Morey had a lot of things to say, and I did not react to his to his end of the season press conference. But, you know, he definitely had a lot of things to say that I kind of wanted to dive into as well. But my first initial thoughts, I'm still a little bit shocked that this team did lose. I'm still kind of numb to it a little bit. But I am ready to attack this offseason. I think that the Sixers have a very bright future, but there are a couple of things that need to happen in this offseason. This is a huge offseason for the Sixers. This is really, really big. But there's a lot to get into with what Daryl Morey had to say. And we'll talk about it. All right? We will definitely dive into it right now. Shout out to Kevin O'Connor and also Celtics Views, okay, for keeping up with what's been going on between Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Pat Riley is in charge of the Miami Heat. He's been around the NBA for a very, very long time. Very great basketball mind, yes. Jimmy Butler, all right, posted on Twitter. Posted something really crazy on Twitter and talked and literally said, basically, long story short, if I was playing on the court against Boston, we'd win pretty much, okay, and we would have a very good shot. And Pat Riley said, if you're not on the court, quote, playing against Boston, you should keep your mouth shut, okay. Why am I bringing this up? I want Jimmy Butler. I do. Jimmy would be a very good guy to bring back on for the Sixers. And there's a lot of reasons why I really do like Jimmy. And number one, I'm not going to go through everything, but number one, he's a competitor and he loves playing with Joel. He played with Joel before. They have unfinished business, right? They lost to the Toronto Raptors. He would be a very good complement for Tyrese Maxey, and he fits what the Sixers need. A third option that has heart, a guy that can rebound, a guy that can handle the ball, and a guy that can close out games in the fourth quarter, especially when it matters the most. I think it would be a good move to go for him. And after these comments made by Pat Riley, Jimmy's not going to take those comments lightly. He wants to get extended, and Miami may be looking to trade him. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But if Jimmy Butler is on the trading block, I want him. I'll make that loud and clear to Daryl Morey. I want Jimmy Butler. That's thing number one that I wanted to talk about in regards to this offseason. Now, Paul George. All right, I found this on Twitter, and I thought that this quote was really interesting from NBA Central. So Paul George said that his former teammate Evan Turner says, Paul George didn't say it. NBA Central said Paul George's former teammate Evan Turner, okay, they were teammates on the Indiana Pacers, I believe, says George has a, quote, history of not showing up and believes the duo of PG and Embiid would be, quote, unquote, soft. I never met a human that would that would let a media rumor drive his energy or personality. You know how soft that team going to be if he and Embiid go together? It'd probably be the most skilled duo ever since Kobe and Shaq. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that last statement. But I'll tell you this. I don't want PG. Because there's a couple reasons why I don't want Paul George. As of now. Paul George, first of all, is going to want a max deal. And he's, 35 years old now? He's on the latter half of his career. I know Jimmy Butler is still 35. But here's the difference. Paul George, when it really matters the most in games, has not stepped up to the occasion and has come up really small. And I like Paul George as a player. I really do. But to give a guy a max deal like $190 million for 4 or 5 years, that's a lot of money, man. And we're going to be in the same hole that we were in before with the Tobias Harris contract. And I do not want that to happen. George is not a rebounder. Okay. Does he technically fit with Maxey and Embiid's game? From a basketball standpoint, he does. But in the big games, in the brightest of lights, I need somebody to shine with these two guys. And we've tried it out with the James Harden experiment. It didn't work out. Okay? I don't think Paul George would be a good fit here in Philadelphia. And that's how I feel. That's truly how I feel. But great player. I just don't want to take on that contract. And I don't think that he would be able to help get them over the hump of getting out of the second round. And those are my thoughts about Paul George. Next up on the top free agents, LeBron James. Do I want LeBron James to come to Philadelphia? Another back and forth answer. And I'm kind of on the fence about. Shout out to Philly Sixers Galaxy, by the way, for posting this tweet because, honestly, they do such an incredible job covering the Sixers. They really do. The Sixers, quote, would clearly have interest in signing LeBron this offseason, pointing to the fact that Daryl Morey about trading for the 39-year-old before the trade deadline, per Kevin O'Connor. And they also go on to say, out east, the Philadelphia 76ers inquired about trading for LeBron James ahead of February's trade deadline, so clearly Philadelphia would have interest in using its cap space for LeBron this summer. Do I want LeBron to come to Philly? Yes and no. Yes and no. No, because he's 39. That's number one. Number two, it officially becomes his team. It just does, because that's how it goes with LeBron. He's older. Don't know if he can carry that athleticism for how much longer. Number three, Bronny is going to have to come to Philadelphia, and we're going to be decreasing Tyrese Maxey's playing time, potentially. Are we really going to be doing that? This kid that's 23 years old, that's already to be showing flashes of superstar talent at his age, I don't want that to happen in that perspective. Plus, the Paul George thing in regards to the money could be a problem with LeBron too. Let's just say that Paul George wants $190 million. If they're paying LeBron that money, I don't want that contract either, because again, it's a Tobias Harris contract. And I love LeBron as a player. I love him as a competitor, but I don't know how much he has left in the gas tank to prove me for maybe a 4-year deal that he's going to want to stay. Is that going to also impact Tyrese Maxey's growth? I think it does. But why would I like LeBron to come to Philly? Well, I do think that LeBron would actually be another ball handler for this team that can play off the ball, and he can attack and be on the ball when he has to be. I think that him and Joel would be an interesting duo for sure. I do. LeBron's a very good passer. Tyrese Maxey's going to get even more looks. And the Sixers do have a third option. That's better, way better than Tobias Harris. I give them all of that. The other thing is, the other reason why I do like LeBron potentially coming to Philly is because I do think that he could help Joel and Tyrese get over that hump. And I actually think that in a Nick Nurse system, they would fit really well. People would disagree with me about that because LeBron really, according to some of these people, they say that LeBron, it's literally his team, and he wouldn't be willing to thrive like under a coaching system. It's not really a system type of a player. I think that he would do really well. I really do. Defensively, I think that he would provide them a lot of really good defense if he was engaged defensively. I do. So I think that it's a good thing, but it could also be a really bad thing as well. And I don't know if I'm willing to take that on. The other reason why I don't like the LeBron thing is because are the Sixers going to get enough depth for their role players? If they're paying him all that money, that money could have went to role players. And if there's anything that I learned from this series against the New York Knicks, is that we need athletic guys. Ricky Council the Fourths, right? These guys that can just play basketball. These ballers, man. These guys that can shoot the three, go get the rebound. The Josh Harts of the world. The Dante DiVincenzo's of the world. We don't have that right now. And if we get LeBron, or even any of these other top free agents, we're not really going to get a lot of depth. And it's not really a super team type of a league anymore. You need depth in order to win. That's how I really do feel. Now, getting Jimmy Butler would have to be through a trade. So, we would still have technically space, like cap space, to sign other players. But I don't know. I'm on the fence about it, and I don't know. I see good things and I see bad things that could happen with that signing. All right? I just do. Overall, it's a big offseason for this team, no matter which direction that they go in. They need to pay Oubre. They need to keep him. They do. I need them to get more depth. I think that the number one focus, and I know that Daryl is not going to do this, and I'm a little bit worried about it. It's a big offseason for him, but I care more about the depth. I care more about the wings. I care more about athletic people. I do. I care more about athleticism and guys that are role players that are just dogs, that are just rebounders. If they could somehow trade for Lauri Markkanen, that would be fine. I think he would be a really good power forward that would have a very good skill set next to Joel Embiid, I'd be okay with that. But if we're going to get top-heavy players like another superstar, we better have depth. That's the number one thing that I need them to do this offseason. Get the depth and make the team better for next year. All right? That's all I got tonight. Comment your thoughts down below. I'm out. Peace.